Aloha, liquor lovers. Nate and Morgan with Liquor on the Rock. We are going to do a taster of Virginia Black. This is a one of those celebrity collaboration offerings with young Drizzy Drake and a guy named Brent Hocking.
Yeah, tequila manufacturer, De Leon Tequila, I believe.
Yeah.
Not good with tequila. Another story.
So this is branded as an American whiskey. It actually doesn't say bourbon anywhere on its packaging, which could be due to a couple things. I don't know if it's maybe there's some filler or some flavoring or something.
Could be flavoring, could be coloring, could be that it was aged in barrels that were used previously for something else. Could be a number of things. All that would keep it from being called strictly bourbon. The liquor itself comes from Indiana. MGP is a very large distillery, which actually a number of bourbon manufacturers will source. Even Scotch manufacturers overseas will source distilled grains from, and then take it back and do what they do with it. And so, not necessarily a bad thing, because so many people do it, but it's not like a small manufacturer that's producing this thing. But
now this is, before we get into tasting and reviewing, I would say that this is, just looking at it, is a lot darker than I would think for an age 2 years.
yeah,
And is that a potential where they might put in some flavoring or coloring?
Definitely coloring, or it could have been from a cask that they were aging it in, already had some stuff in it. We'll have to taste it to see if we come up with anything. But yeah, I think you said max 3 years old aged, 2 to 3.
Yeah, this back here says 2.
Okay.
Distilled in Indiana.
All right.
Yeah, it's kind of a, just packaging wise, people either love this or they hate it.
Yeah.
It's got that mid-century perfume cologne bottle.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like it. It stands out on a shelf nicely. The cap feels a little bit like it's plastic cap, which kind of feels a little cheap on its own. But if it was a metal cap, I would be all in.
It is an interesting
logo.
It is an interesting bottle. I will say it does look like a giant dollar store perfume bottle, but it's got a very nice Art Deco look to it. I'll give it that.
And I would imagine that since it's Drake,
Yeah.
this is probably, his demographic is probably like younger,
Yeah.
club going,
Women.
maybe females, maybe
Yeah.
I mean probably everyone, but
And he's Canadian. Why didn't he use Crown Royal or something like that?
you know, this is probably in direct competition with a Crown Royal.
Yeah.
Let's give it a taste.
All right. There's definitely some toasted notes and some very deep caramel.
Yeah, pretty sweet on the nose. It opens up pretty nicely, like
Yeah.
caramel, and
Sticks to the side of the glass fairly well.
I know some of the tasting notes say caramel popcorn or you know, kind of fruity. I'm just getting basically sweet.
It is a very sweet bourbon, or whiskey, as it were. You're definitely getting the char. I think that probably helps with being such a young bourbon. It's picking up a lot more of whatever burnt cask it's being put in.
It doesn't taste too young for
No,
not as young as I might think with
which
2 year.
also could come from any potential additives or whatever their mash bill is.
Yeah, it does say their mash bill's unknown.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be like 10% or less rye.
Yeah, probably a lot of corn, because that's the primary, and that gives you a lot of that sugar sweetness from corn too.
Coffee, vanilla. I feel like there's a little spice in the middle or the end there. It's not. I'm not offended by this.
No, it's a fairly easy drinker. I would actually taste this on the same general profile as that Nika coffee grain we did previously with the high corn amount, but this has a bit more, I don't know, fire to it, probably from its age. And it's got a little bit of like clove, cinnamon near the end, I'd say.
A little leather, maybe Tuscan leather.
That's the one thing I've never been able to taste. People always tell me they say it tastes leather. Like, yeah, I don't get it.
Sure you do.
Yeah, you just go suck on old books all day. I don't know.
A belt.
Belt, there you go. Well, Daddy was kind.
That's why you drink so much.
That's why I drink.
But yeah, this is not an offensive. This is probably another one of those, just like the coffee grain, probably a good intro.
Yeah.
Like, if people are like, whiskey seems like an old cowboy, you know, can't do it kind of drink, then give them this with some ice.
Yeah, this is a pretty smooth one to start off with. It's listed as a premium whiskey, mostly I think because of Drake's endorsement and involvement in it. But price range, you should be able to find this under $40, unless you're in an area that's bumped up the price due to Drake's involvement with it.
Yeah, that's very possible. Yeah, I'm really not mad at it. I like the shape of it. I like these lines.
Yeah.
It's just the cap that bothers me.
Definitely not the most complex bourbon I've tasted. It's definitely drinkable, no problems with it. It's just, you know, not super exciting, but as he says, it's a good, smooth, introductory one to do.
This is the one you bring to the house party where Drake's music will almost certainly be played. And you could probably pass this out and not many people would know that he was even involved with this. I haven't seen a ton of marketing from him on it. I've seen a couple things on his Instagram, but you show up with this and say, it's Drake's. You'll either get that love-hate thing that Drake gets. But yeah, overall, a good intro. Probably not I mean, you could do any kind of, you know, mixing wise, it's sweet enough that you could do a bunch with it.
Yeah, and the price is low enough that you won't feel bad about mixing with things too.
Right. Yeah, $30 a pop. It's doable. Is it possible that they purposely gave this the kind of not diluted but kind of middling profile that a lot of Canadian whiskeys have, since he's a Canadian?
I know, but all this stuff comes from Indiana, so
he's probably not that much involved in the tastes.
He probably helped pick out the bottle and the design and the name, which all my research cannot find anything of what the name is referencing.
That's right. If you know, or if anyone you know knows, comment and let us know.
Yeah.
Virginia Black.
It'd be nice to have one.
Yeah. Well, not too bad.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Give it a try.
Salud.
Have a good one.